Hello Flosstube and happy holidays, Merry Christmas. I tried to get a little in the spirit today and I'm wearing my red and green. This is not a Christmas shirt, however. It says, I smell you. I love Pixar movies and Up and Doug are some of my favorites. So I thought, well, red and green, I'll wear this shirt. Because I don't have any Christmas clothes, actually. Now this video is going to be very short. I don't have much time because I still have to go to work tonight. I need to wrap all of my Christmas presents, and then tomorrow I'm getting on a plane to fly out to the Midwest to see all my family for Christmas. So all I'm going to say is I'm looking forward to being on the plane, buckled in tomorrow, and everything done, and just be on my way. Because then I can relax and know that I will get there eventually. Even if things are delayed, I will get there eventually. I'll bring some stitching, you know, that whole thing, and I should get there fine. The reason I wanted to get this video in and why I'm making time for it today is because I wanted to show you all my Christmas presents before I wrapped them up. Because one of them in particular I think you will be very interested in. So I don't think I have any whips to show you because the only things I've been stitching on since my last video are things that needed to get done for this time of year. So the very first thing I'm going to show you is something that has been months in the making. It was originally a birthday present for the end of September for my sister's now husband, then fiance. However, it did not get finished, but it finally is finished. Here is the John Deere cross stitch that I've made. So I designed this. I took an old John Deere advertisement and plotted out in a cross-stitch program on my computer. I didn't take the picture and put it in there. I did actually plan out each stitch there. And I think it turned out really well. And I remember I got all the green done and I was debating putting the yellow in, but I'm so glad that I did, even though it took forever and was a pain in the butt to do. I ended up using at least one skein of the green, one skein of the yellow, and yeah, I think it turned out really well. This pattern, if anyone is interested, is actually a freebie on my blog. I'll put the link in the description of my video right down below, and if for some reason I do forget, feel free to remind me in the comments and I'll do that. But yeah, there's John Deere. Now I just have to wrap it and get it safely on the plane. I think this one's, all the framed things are going to be going in my carry-on. Actually, all the gifts are going to be going in my carry-on, so I can just feel like I'm handling them a little better than, you know, all those people who have to lift bags up and down all day. I mean, I don't blame them. But, you know, sometimes they're not so gentle with the bags. The other fully finished object, another fully finished object that I have is another framed piece. This was the wedding sampler that I had shown you guys the design for in my last video. Here it is. So as you can see there, it has two lace motifs there at the top, a lily, or two lilies, and it says, I am my beloved's and my beloved is mine. That's the couple's initials and their wedding date. It turned out fine. This is going to have to be what it will be. I should have brought the text in, just like another stitch, and if I do release this pattern in my Etsy store, then that's what I will probably do, because maybe just bring both things in, like 2 stitches if possible, because as you can see in this 5x7 frame, they're kind of running to the edge there. But I really like how this turned out, and the wedding was the 19th, so it is going to be late, but I figured I'd wait until after the holidays when kind of the post-frenzy is going to slow down, and they don't live too far from here, so I can't imagine it will take more than 3 days to get to them. And yeah, hopefully they enjoy it. And that's all of my cross-stitch progress. I did, oh no, I lied, sorry. I don't mean to lie to you guys, but sometimes I do. Really stupidly yesterday afternoon, I was like, oh, I need to make something for my grandparents. I'll make some small cross-stitch ornaments. Well, little did I realize that even these tiny little things take hours to stitch, or at least they took me hours to stitch. But I'll go ahead and show you. So I finished these up just really quickly into ornaments. I just hot glued them onto a piece of felt with a ribbon on top for a hanger. So this is a snowman. And this snowman was actually pulled from a pattern in here, Glorious Cross Stitch. There is a group of, I don't know if you're going to be able to see them. So you can kind of see them there. They're ornaments, and so all of them are a bit bigger, but I didn't have time to do the whole thing, obviously, so I just did the snowman's head. And I think it turned out nice. And then from the same designs, there was kind of a teddy bear Santa, and one of my grandmothers really likes teddy bears, so I did this one. And then the last one is from my grandparents who own a cattle farm, or used to own a cattle farm. And it's a little Christmas cow, and that cow is from, I showed you this book last time, 501 Cross-Stitch Designs by Sam Hawkins, right there. So, although they turned out cute, I need to, if this is something I'm going to do next year, I have got to be stitching them the whole month before, and not just 2 days before Christmas. And then just a few more things to show you. I got 2 new needle minders, and I had kind of told myself, no more. You have plenty. You're not even using all of them on your whips. You know, you don't need any more. However, I saw 2 that I simply had to have, and I know that sounds silly. I don't have to have anything, but I really wanted them, so I was like, you know, I'm gonna get them because they're gonna make me happy every time I use them. And so the first one, and I had admired this one, but I hadn't really made the decision to get it yet. But here's this adorable little Toothless. I know Dragon Stitches just showed him off. I just think he is the darn cutest of all needle minders. He had a little glue on his wing there. But yeah, I had seen other Toothless minders, and I was like, yeah, but this one, that is adorable. He's just so pleasant sitting there, you know, just watching you stitch. So that is one of my new needle minders that I could not resist, and this was the one that really made the decision that I had to have it, to buy these 2, because I wasn't going to buy just one needle minder if I was going to order some. This one, that Toothless and this next one are from Gina's, by the way, Gina's Unique Boutique on Facebook. And someone had bumped this from like 2014, so over a year ago probably at this point, but I saw it, and for those of you who are longtime viewers or subscribers, you may remember, not only am I stitching a piece about Peter Pan, but I just love the story and I love the character, and so Gina had this needle minder, which you can see there are the silhouettes, the flying silhouettes of Peter, Wendy, John and Michael, and I saw this and I just thought, well, I'm buying it. And so this one is will be in use on my Peter Pan piece. That's where it is right now. Toothless is just in my needle minder box for now. And then I'll finish talking about cross stitch stuff, but then I want to show you just 2 of the other gifts that I worked on very hard the past few days. I wanted to mention, just kind of looking back in the year, I don't know if I'll have time or if I'll want to make like a full year in review kind of thing, but I was just kind of going over the numbers, and I kind of looked it up, and it turns out I started 38 total pieces this year. Of those 38 pieces, 21 of them became fully finished objects, and I have 17 of them as whips. And I'm fairly certain that I did not finish any I don't have any finished pieces lying around from this year. I'm pretty sure that all of them that I stitched and finished are fully finished at this point. And the reason is because I'd have to look more in depth, but I'm pretty sure all of those pieces were gifts. And looking back on this year, that's what most of my stitches are. The 17 whips that are left, I think probably 12 or more are personal pieces. I know for sure there's some gifts in there because I still have to finish my birthday twins Pokemon. But I just thought that was really interesting. I personally am very proud that my FFOs total more than my whips this year. And for my first year seriously being into cross stitch, I feel like that is a pretty decent tally there. And not all of them were small pieces. Some of them are smaller. But you know, these ornaments are the smallest pieces that I've stitched this year. And even then, you know, they took a few hours work. As far as next year goes, I don't really have any solid stitching plans. I want to do the Books Advent Animals as part of the Stitch Mania Books Sal. That is a tongue twister. And I would still like to do the leopard that I kitted up, and I also want to start, I think for Christmas I really would like to kit up. I bought that Art Nouveau Merida pattern a while ago, and I really would like to get some nice hand-dyed and get the beads for that and maybe start that next year. But I have no real deadlines. I need to finish Storytime Sampler, that's not done yet. But one thing about future stitching for me is I'm feeling kind of free at this moment. I got all of my gift stitching for the holidays done. I think I'm going to try, and I'll take this on the plane with me probably, and you know, another Pokemon to give in time for my birthday twin and my birthday that's coming up next month on the 16th. So, but I have a lot of options. I feel like the world is my oyster and I could stitch anything I want, which is a really, really liberating and rewarding feeling. My goal next year is, however, to finish up a lot of the things I started this year, I'm hoping. I'm not being strict either way. I'm not going to be doing a whole bunch of scheduled new starts. I'm not going to be doing just whips and no new starts. You know, if I have the money to buy new stash, you know, maybe I will. But I just have so much right now, projects that I really enjoy that aren't being stitched, that I think I'm thinking I will be happy just doing a lot of that. Okay, that's it, I believe, for cross-stitchy things. I do want to show you some of the other gifts that I made for my family. Really, it's only 2 other gifts. That is, I did some paintings. All of the paintings that you've seen so far are paintings that I did kind of at my workplace, but these were completely original ones that I made myself. My brother has a new apartment where he's living, and he asked me if I would make some art for him. He's like, yeah, let me know what you want. He still hasn't gotten back to me or made a solid decision, but one of the things that he had mentioned was maybe a pop art dragon. So I painted this for him for Christmas. And is it Lindy Stitches who likes the teal and the red? I kind of was thinking of you. I know your red is a little more vintage than this red, but when you're doing a dragon, I feel like you gotta have the bright red. So I think he turned out really nice. My paint that I used was actually old. It had never been opened, but it was from at least a year ago. It was from probably about a year, almost 2 years ago. So some of the paints were a little clumpy. They weren't mixing very well. They weren't gliding over the canvas very well. So I think, considering that, this turned out pretty well. I would have bought new paints had I known that they wouldn't behave, but oh well, for next year. And then the other present that I made is my dad's present. My dad is a really big fisherman. He loves fishing, and they just got a new house as well. And they had been living in a condo, waiting and looking at house hunting for a place to call their own and not rent anymore, and they finally found one. And there's a lot of empty wall space, and they were like, you need to paint us something. I was like, yeah, fly me down one week, you know, take me to Michael's, get me some canvas, and I will paint for you all week. But my dad, anyway, he told me that he would be interested in painting that was like a walleye is the particular fish he picked. And walleye are kind of mean, or the predators of your kind of lakes and rivers. Maybe more lakes. I don't know. I'm not a fish expert. But they're known for their sharp teeth and their spiky fins. So I found a picture of a walleye. But my dad said he wanted it to kind of have unique colors. So here, this is on 2 canvases. Here is my walleye. And so you can see he's kind of swimming towards eating that orb up in the front. And coming off of that orb are kind of the highlight oranges and blues and purples. I'm going to give you a close-up. I had a lot of fun doing this, actually. It's a lot of layering of colors, especially there on the back. And I wish I had taken a picture of it before I added the orange and the blues and stuff, but I forgot. I was impressed. It actually looked kind of realistic. You don't see a lot of, I feel like most of the realism and realistic paintings you see are done in oil paints, because acrylic just kind of, I don't know, at least I'm not a very skilled painter. I'm not an expert. I haven't had much training in it at all. But I feel like, your acrylics, you get softer blends in oils. I have no idea. I've not even used oil paints. I should probably just be quiet now. But if you are a painter and you know these things and you want to tell me about it in the comments, please don't lecture me. But if you want to, tell me, I am curious. In my brain, it seems like it would be easier to get realism out of oil than acrylic, but I don't know. I have never been, in my art has never been super realistic. Kind of always had my own style. But I believe that is all that I have to say. If you're wondering, my mom and my sister, you're wondering why I don't have any crafty gifts for them. Well, I do, but they're not anything new. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen them. They're both going to be getting one of my little horses that I've made. I feel a little bad that they're not brand new, but I was working on that darn John Deere cross stitch, and if I had had time I would have made something new, but it was just getting everything figured out and organized. Took enough time. And they also have something extra special to add to it. So, yeah, that's it. I am going to hopefully get some wrapping done before I have to head to work, then come home, finish up my wrapping, and then pack all my stuff, and then go to the airport tomorrow. I am very, very excited that I'm going to be with my family, and I sincerely hope that each of you, if these holidays are special times for you, no matter what you're celebrating, that you get to celebrate it with people you love. And I'm looking forward to a lot of stitchy time. And yeah, I guess that's it. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, and most likely I'm going to be seeing you after the New Year, so I'll say Happy New Year as well. I really, really have the sincerest and best wishes for all of us here on Flosstube. And looking back over the year, my Flosstube anniversary is, I believe it's either late January or early February, so it's been almost a year I've been making videos, and I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers, and I've made so many good friends, and I really sincerely care about all of you, and you were all here with me while I was making all of these things. I didn't get to comment, but I'm about 50 videos behind, whereas before I started all these gifts I was like 100 videos behind. So I do want to thank you guys for keeping me company while doing all of that. I want to thank you for your continued comments and likes and your subscribes, and that's all. I'm going to try not to say yeah again, because I think I've tried to wrap this up 3 times and say it that way every time. So this time I'm going to say thank you for all of the love this year. At least for me, it's been a good one. Yeah, I said it. Rawr! I wish you all the best. You've now had that like times 4, I'm sure. And I will leave you now and get back to work doing my elfing, and hope that all of you in the next few weeks have some wonderful time with people you love and lots of celebrating. Alright, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, and I will see you in 2016. Bye!